Well, what's up guys, this is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. It's as you saw, 6:15 in the morning, waiting on my pot of coffee to percolate. We'll get more into that in a minute. If you don't drink coffee from a percolator, you're missing out. But today we are going to be making deer jerky, and we're getting an early start on it because this is a long process and it takes a while. And I actually got started last night. Got my jerky meat all thawed out, and got her marinating. I'll show you that process. I mean, it's super simple. There's not a whole lot to it, but I kind of cheated on this deal. So when Emily shot her deer back in October, I took the 2 hindquarters to our local processor and just had those guys slice it up into jerky strips, which saves me a ton of time because they have a meat slicer. That's one thing I don't have yet. It's a meat slicer, and they slice all that meat up from those big hindquarters into perfect 1/4 inch strips. It saves me a lot of time. You don't have to take the whole deer in. You can just take in those big hindquarters or your front shoulders and say, hey, I want this sliced into jerky meat, and it doesn't cost you near as much as having a whole deer processed. Then you can grind your own hamburger meat and do all that stuff. But I'll get into the recipe, show you how we marinate everything, I'll break down the recipe. I'll put notes in the description box down below with the exact recipe. My family does not prefer hot jerky. They like it nice and mild. They don't want it to burn their mouth. So we don't put a whole lot of pepper in it. We don't do anything just wild and crazy. A lot of guys do stuff that make it just burn your mouth. But we like a nice mild flavored jerky. Got a nice big, it's not a commercial dehydrator, but it's one from Cabela's. It's a 10 tray dehydrator. Oh, about 100 times better than the little round ones, because these things hold a ton of food. And we'll show you that process. But first, we gotta have coffee. I said earlier, if you're not making coffee in a percolator, you're missing out. And there's just something different about a percolator than a drip coffee maker. For me personally, it has a lot of history. I grew up camping and going on hunting trips and fishing trips with my dad and grandpas and lots of older men that taught me a lot of cool things and a lot of lessons about life. And that percolator was there. I mean, it was like a mainstay of the camp trip. Always had that percolator going. Somebody would get up early in the morning, start the fire or start a little propane stove, get that coffee percolating, and when you got out of bed, it might be 30 degrees outside, and you walk outside into our little outdoor kitchen area, and there's that percolator going with hot coffee. Even as a kid, that just brings back so many memories. So there's something special to me about percolator coffee, but the taste is just 10 times better than a drip coffee maker, I think personally. It's cool. It's an old-fashioned way of making coffee, and I just love it. Ooh, that's hot. One thing about a percolator is you get some hot coffee. Yeah, I love coffee. So today's video is sponsored by Trade. And if you've never heard of Trade, they're a really cool company. They partner, it's an online website. They partner with 50 or so different coffee roasters and have about 400 different coffee blends. And the way it works is you go on to their website and they have a little survey. You can just follow along and click as you go what kind of coffee, how you make your coffee, what roast you like, if you want whole bean or ground, what flavors you like. And at the end, it pops up some different coffees that are best suited for you. And they have a lot of different options, 400 different options, as I said. And I don't know about you, but when I drink coffee, I want something I like something different than just the 2 or 3 top name brands that I can get at the grocery store. I like to change it up a little bit because I like my coffee black with just a little bit of sugar, so the flavor is important to me. I don't doctor it up with all that fancy stuff. But Trade's a really cool company. They'll partner you up, or they'll match you up with a good coffee that suits your needs for your style, and it's really good stuff. I like it. It's making my morning much better already. If you don't have a percolator, you need to get you one of those. So Trade's offering the first 100 people who use the link in the description box down below 30% off their first order, and you're gonna like it. I love coffee. So on to the real meat of the video. So we'll jump back to last night's clip and show you how we set up everything, what all goes in our marinade, what our recipe is, and get this stuff all marinated up and ready to go in the dehydrator. Alright guys, you know, I got about 3 pounds of sliced deer jerky here. This was off of Emily's buck that she shot earlier this year. And what I do is I take those hindquarters and I go straight to my local game processor, and just have them take those hindquarters and slice them up into about 1/4 inch strips. So these are what used to be a whole roast, individual cuts of roast. We sliced it up into jerky meat. And we're gonna get it marinated up and turn this into some fabulous dehydrated deer jerky. Because deer season's winding down, and everybody loves deer season. But in my household, I think everybody loves jerky season more than they like deer season. So I'll leave a link, or I'll leave a list of all the ingredients and the exact recipe in the description box down below. So here's just a quick rundown. We've got soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, liquid smoke, seasoned salt, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper. The recipe calls for red pepper. We use cayenne pepper because it's ground up and it's not the red pepper flakes. Now, I'm gonna need you guys to keep a little secret for me. This might be my mother-in-law's recipe, and she may have a really good jerky recipe, probably better than anyone I've ever had. But we're not gonna tell her that. We're just gonna make the jerky off the recipe that my wife prefers. She loves her mom's deer jerky, so we're gonna use her recipe. And if you want the exact measurements, like I said, check the description box down below. So I got about 3 pounds of jerky meat here. And I'm telling you, it's nothing fancy. I'm not exact. I just shoot from the hip. But here we go. We're gonna use 4 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. I'm sorry, 4 tablespoons soy sauce. Now, we're just gonna mix it all up really well. Now this isn't divided out exactly even, but we're close. So I'm just gonna pour about half and half in each bag. Seal it all and just mix it up really, really well. Alright, now these guys are going to go in the refrigerator. We'll leave them sitting there overnight. Probably turn them a couple times before we go to bed, and then we'll catch up with y'all in the morning. Hey, welcome back to the current day. So we got all of our deer meat all marinated and ready to go in the dehydrator. So as I said earlier, this is a 10 tray dehydrator. Now, I've used the little round ones for years. You know, you can buy them at like any big box store for like 30 bucks. But the difference in this and one of those little round ones is well, first off, the amount of food that this will hold. This has 10 trays versus most of those little round ones I believe are like 5. And then you've got, well, back in there, tray. Much faster. You can pump out a ton more jerky or apples or whatever you're dehydrating in something like this. Now this one came from Cabela's. I'm sure there's hundreds of them on Amazon. I'll see if I can find a comparable model on Amazon, and I'll leave a link in the description box down below if it's something you're interested in. But if you make much jerky at all, this is a necessity. So as you can see, we didn't quite have enough meat to do a full dehydrator load. The top tray, I'm leaving it empty. And if you notice, I didn't pull out the bottom tray, and that's because that bottom tray I use as a drippings pan. I've got a sheet, a little plastic sheet that came with the dehydrator to catch those drippings, and you can actually put it under it, but it's just really, it's kind of a messy spot. So I leave that bottom tray empty, and then that drippings tray is under there. It catches all the drippings. You don't have to clean the dehydrator near as much. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, why in the world did you spend money having a meat processor slice that meat up? And I'll say this, a lot of people get tired of making jerky because it's a long process, it's a slow process. But one thing that'll save you so much time in jerky making is consistency and the thickness of the meat. So if you don't have a meat slicer, it's a really good idea to take it to a processor or take it to somebody that has a meat slicer. You can get consistent, thin slices. Now you can pull those roasts out while they're frozen or about half frozen and slice them with a knife. But a lot of times, at least for me anyways, some of them will be really thin and then some of them will be pretty thick. And the thicker they are, obviously the longer it takes to dehydrate. So then you got stuff that's coming off at different times. It's just a much more of a painstaking process. So having someone slice that meat in a meat slicer and then a good dehydrator, it's gonna save you a lot of time, and you'll make a lot more jerky. All right, I think our jerky is just about done. A lot of it is done. There's a few pieces that are a little bit thicker, and we'll leave those on. We're gonna start kind of condensing down into a few less trays and start pulling off what's ready. So we don't want to overcook it, but we're going to pull it out, put it on a rack, and let it cool completely before we ever package it up in a Ziploc bag. Let's see. Oh, those big thick ones may need a little longer. I know there's some up here towards the top. Oh yeah, nice. Those are done. Faux show. Looks like about half of it was done. Now the easiest way to tell, for me anyways, if it's done is I give it a little squeeze test. So I'm just gonna pick it up and squeeze it. If it's, you know, like crispy, I don't want it crispy so that it breaks. I don't like jerky that dried out. But when I squeeze it, it's not spongy at all. It's completely dried out. There's some, you know, some of the edges are a little bit thicker, but you know, most of it's just dry. I don't want it to break. I don't want to just overcook it and burn it, in my opinion. I don't like jerky that it'll snap. That's just no good. We want it to be able to peel apart. So before I go tell everybody else that this is done, because everyone's outside right now, I'm going to give it a little taste test. I mean, for me personally, I would make it a little bit more spicy. But my wife and kids don't like their jerky super spicy, so we use more black pepper than we do red pepper. If you want it a little bit more spicy, what you could do is as you put your meat on your trays, you could sprinkle some more black pepper, a little bit of red pepper, whatever you want to put on there to spice it up a little bit. But like I said, my family doesn't like it hot, so. I mean, that's why we go deer hunting right there. Jerky, making deer jerky at home. Oh man, that whole pile right there will last, you know, like a day or two with my kids. They go through it like candy.
guys, we are back with another video, and today we're gonna do some stuff today. You'll find out what we'll do. The first thing we did, we got some wood, because we need some wood. Don't have much over there, so we got some more.
I need an official taste test.
There you go.
Other boys, firewood boys. Is it any good?
Actually, kind of good.
Actually kind of good. Weston's teasing the dog. That's not very nice. She's gonna get it. Boy, you're talkative. That's it, huh? Y'all are awful boring.
What? I am not boring.
Quit teasing the dog. You're mean.
It's actually pretty good though.
Oh, apparently Weston didn't like it. He just fed it to the dog.
It was good.
He couldn't see it because of his hair. So what do you think? Was it too spicy?
Just perfect.
Just perfect. You think your mama will like it? So that's our rendition of our own recipe of deer jerky, beef jerky. Actually, I said our recipe. I got it from my mother-in-law.
Hey.
Hey, what?
I saw a squirrel run.
Yeah, I can tell. Squirrel!
Squirrel!
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready now.
Okay. So anyways, as I was saying before I was interrupted,
By
that's
Weston.
our recipe that we got from my mother-in-law. My wife prefers that. I like to make jerky. I'll take the hamburger meat, the ground burger, and I've got a jerky gun and I can squeeze it out and it makes like a beef stick. I really like that. She doesn't like that. Mom doesn't like that. Do you like it like that?
I mean, I've never tried it like that before.
Yeah, you have. It's just been a year and you don't remember.
Yeah, I like it.
He's easy to convince, isn't he? So like I said, I'll leave the recipe in the description box down below. Jerky making is not hard, but it is time consuming and it takes just takes a full day to really do a lot of it.
It takes a few minutes to make the recipe.
Yeah.
But you gotta have meat or something to do it.
You gotta have meat. That is correct. You gotta have meat to make jerky.
You can't just put the recipe in the pan and then just let it cook.
We can't do like vegan jerky, can we? There's like jerky just doesn't work out of a squash or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of got to be meat. Anywho, we're gonna go get some chores done. So we're gonna cut this video off here. Guys, don't forget, check out the link in the description box down below if you're interested in a place to find some good, awesome tasting coffee. Trade is offering a 30% discount to the first 100 people who hit that link in the description box down below. Go check them out, take their little quiz and see what kind of cool coffees it comes up for you. So I'm gonna let Houston wrap this up since he missed out on the whole video this morning because I've been up since about 6 o'clock making jerky and he wasn't up then. So here you go.
So I'm ending the video?
Yeah, you're ending this video.
We haven't even done everything.
See, Houston was asleep in bed while I made the whole jerky video. He thinks we're just getting started. I'm just wrapping up. All right, bud. We're gonna end this video, then we'll go make another one. How about that? Okay.
So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.